Why some people secretly want you to fail. You told them something good. Not big, just real. Something you were working toward. And for a split second, just a flicker, their face changed. It was quick, almost invisible, but you felt it. A delay in their smile, a tightness around their eyes, something off, and you ignored it. You told yourself you were overthinking. You softened the moment. You moved on. But that feeling didn't come from nowhere. You've seen this before. You just didn't call it what it was. There are people in your life who don't want you to fail loudly. They want you to fail quietly, slowly, subtly, in ways you can't easily blame them for. Because obvious sabotage is risky, but silent resistance, that's safe. And the most dangerous part, they'll still clap for you, just not enough to let you rise. Think about how they react when you talk about your plans, not your problems. Your plans. Watch closely. They don't shut you down directly. They don't say, don't do it. They do something softer. They question your timing. They bring up risks you already considered. They remind you how hard it is, not to help you, to slow you down, because hesitation is contagious. And once you start doubting yourself, they don't have to do anything else. That's the first pattern. They don't block your path. They make you question it. And you felt that slight drop in your energy after talking to them, that weird shift from excitement to overthinking. You noticed it. You just didn't act on it. Here's what's actually happening. Your progress changes the balance between you. Every relationship has a hidden structure, status, influence, control, not obvious, but always there. And when you start improving, financially, mentally, socially, you move, you rise. And not everyone is comfortable adjusting to that, because your growth creates pressure. It forces them to compare, to reflect, to confront what they're not doing. And most people don't want that. So instead of growing with you, they try to slow you down quietly. This doesn't always come from hate. That's what makes it harder to detect. Sometimes it comes from insecurity, sometimes from fear, sometimes from losing control over how they see themselves. Because if you succeed, their excuses start looking weaker. Their comfort zone starts looking smaller, and your progress becomes a mirror they didn't ask for. So they dim your momentum to protect their identity. And they won't say it out loud. They'll still support you, just selectively. They'll encourage you when it's safe, when it doesn't threaten anything. But the moment you get close to something real, something that actually changes your position, that's when the energy shifts. That's when the subtle resistance begins. They'll say things like, "Are you sure now is the right time? Maybe you should wait a bit more. Don't rush into it." It sounds logical, reasonable, even caring. But listen carefully. It's not guidance. It's delay. Because real support doesn't shrink your momentum. It sharpens it. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Because it's not just what they say. It's what you allow. You keep going back to them. You keep sharing your progress, your ideas, your next steps. Why? Because part of you still wants their approval. You want them to be happy for you. You want validation from the same person who feels threatened by your growth. And that creates a loop, a psychological loop. You bring energy. They drain it slightly. You leave with doubt. Then you come back again, hoping for a different reaction. It never changes. Only your confidence does. That's not support. That's conditioning. And over time, it works. Not instantly, but gradually. You start second-guessing decisions you were once sure about. You hesitate more. You delay action. Not because you're incapable, because your environment is quietly training you to shrink. This is where it gets deeper, because some people don't just react to your growth. They depend on your stagnation. Think about your role in their life. Maybe you're the one who listens, The one who stays available. The one who doesn't outgrow the dynamic. If you level up, that role changes. You become less accessible, less predictable, less controllable. And that threatens the connection, not emotionally, structurally. So instead of adapting to the new version of you, they try to keep the old one alive, the version that fits their comfort. They don't need you to fail completely. They just need you to not outgrow them. And you've felt this, that subtle pullback, when you start getting serious about something, and suddenly they need more of your time, more of your attention, more of your energy, not intentionally, but consistently. Because attention is a resource, and when you redirect it toward your growth, they feel the loss. So they pull you back through conversations, through small distractions, through emotional hooks. And you respond because it feels normal, familiar, safe. That's the trap. You think failure is something dramatic, losing everything, making a big mistake. But most failure doesn't look like that. It looks like delay. It looks like hesitation. It looks like staying in the same place a little longer than you should. And the people who secretly want you to fail, they don't push you down. They keep you still. Now let's go one level deeper, because not all resistance is external. Some of it you've already internalized. After enough exposure to subtle doubt, you start thinking like them. You question yourself before they even speak. You anticipate their reactions. You filter your ambition to keep things comfortable. You silence parts of yourself to maintain the relationship. That's when it becomes dangerous. Because now, they don't have to do anything. You're doing it for them. You've turned their hesitation into your mindset, their limits into your decisions. And at that point, it's not about them anymore. It's about control. Not their control over you, your lack of control over your direction. Because every time you shrink to maintain a connection, you trade growth for approval. And that trade always costs more than you think. Now ask yourself something. When you share good news, who actually feels it with you? Not just hears it, feels it. Because real support doesn't create tension. It amplifies clarity. It makes you sharper, more focused, more certain. You don't leave those conversations confused. You leave aligned. And if that's not what you're experiencing, then you're not being supported. You're being managed. That's the uncomfortable truth. Some people don't want you to fail in a way that exposes them. They want you to fail in a way that keeps everything the same. Quiet, controlled, unchanged. And the longer you stay in that environment, the harder it becomes to see it. Because it doesn't feel like sabotage. It feels like normal. Until one day you look back and realize you've been stuck in the same place. Not because you couldn't move, but because something kept pulling you back. And now you see it. The reactions, the patterns, the subtle resistance. It was always there. The real question is not whether they'll change. They won't. Because this isn't about awareness. It's about comfort. The real question is this. Why are you still looking for support from people who benefit from your hesitation? Why are you still explaining your goals to people who feel threatened by them? Why are you still shrinking just to stay understood? Because deep down, you already know who feels right to talk to and who doesn't. You felt it the first time. You just ignored it. So now you have a choice. Not about them. About you. You can keep feeding the loop. Keep sharing. Keep doubting. Keep slowing down. Or you can move differently. Quietly, clearly, without needing approval from people who can't handle your growth. Yachanti. Because they don't need to see your vision. They just need to not interfere with it. And you don't need everyone to support you. You just need to stop letting the wrong people shape your direction. You already know who they are. You felt it. That moment. That flicker. The real question is, why did you ignore it?